Okay, I think we're started. Does anybody have a spiritual message they would like to share? Okay, I have one. I was reading President Uchtdorf's talk yesterday, The Summer with Great Aunt Rose, and I've read this talk multiple times, and I love that every time I read it, I get a different message out of it. But lately I've been struggling like this semester. I just don't feel like I've found my groove yet. And so I'm having a really hard time getting my work done each week and being happy about getting my work done each week. And the message that I got out of that talk just was that we can be happy no matter what our circumstances are. We need to choose to be happy and find a way to be happy, and we can do that through faith in the Savior Jesus Christ. So there we go. It was short, but there we go. Okay. So did you guys have any thoughts or questions about the Homeplate case? Did you get it all done?
I got it all done, but I kind of made some assumptions that I hope are right. And I'm hoping you all made the same assumptions. Because when I was doing the calculations page, hold on, I can pull that up. It didn't tell us how much the Series A investor assumed that the business was worth. We just knew that they were willing to pay $250 per share. And so with that, then I created an oh, there it is, like a backdoor valuation. Did you guys do the same thing?
I'm not sure I did that correctly, honestly.
Okay. Anyone else? Do you want me to screen share mine and then we can scrutinize it and make me change things?
Sure.
Okay. Hold on. All right, can you see that?
Yes.
Okay, so this first one is sort of the answers to the first 3 questions, right? Like the what if statements that we were given. And you guys can compare it to your chart, I guess. So like this one, it says Lexi invested $1,000. She gave herself 1,000 shares or 100,000 shares. That means that the share price was $0.01 per share. So her company value is $1,000, and she owns 100%. Right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. And then one of the ideas was investor A, and that's the angel investor, was going to invest $50,000, and they wanted to invest it for 50 cents a share.
Mm-hmm.
That meant that they would also get 100,000 shares for that 50 cents, making the total shares 200,000, valuing the company at $100,000, and Lexi would own 50%, and the angel would own 50%.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hi guys. That's
my God.
Hi, Sharon.
Yes, is that what Sharon got?
Yes.
Okay, so then Lexi's thinking, well, 50 cents seems a little bit like not enough. So if the angel investor invested the $50,000 at $2 a share, they would then issue 25,000 shares, which means that the total shares would be 125,000. The company would be valued at $250, and Lexi would own 80%, and the angel would own 20%.
Yep.
So, but then if they decide to agree on the $1, the angel investor would invest 50,000, would receive 50,000 shares with the total shares of 150,000, making the company value 150,000, and Lexi would own 67, and the angel would own 33. Correct?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
And then if after that, the Series A investor invested $30,000 at $250, they would be issued 120,000 shares, making the total amount 270,000 at $250 a share, making the company value over $5 million or over $500,000, $675,000. Lexi would then own 37%. The angel investor would own 19%, and the Series A investor would own 44%.
Yeah.
That's the calculation I got for if the angel investor was going at $1 per share. Is that? I don't know. I did things a little different than you, I think.
Was that for number 4, or was that
No, this is still number, it says, assuming Lexi and the angel agreed on $1 a share in the seed round, what share of the company would she own after Series A, assuming she raises the $300,000 and $250 a share? What share of the company would she own? What share would Potato Rock? And Potato Rock is the Series A.
Okay.
Does that make sense? So like, in how I read this is you have Lexi invested $1,000, and then the angel invested $50,000 with the stock price or share price is at $1, and then after that the Series A investor invested $300,000 at $250. Does that make sense?
I'm sorry, I missed what one are we on now?
We're doing number 3.
Okay, number 3.
I got the same percentages. How much did you get the total invested
For which one?
for number 3?
Well, the total invested would be $350,000.
Okay.
But the $50,000 was at $1 per share, and the $300,000 was at $250 a share.
Okay. Yeah, I got that. Sorry.
Okay,
I just wasn't. I did my setup a little different, so it's confusing me.
I'm sure your setup's lovely. Lacey, no matter what you do, I'm sure it's lovely.
I doubt it.
Okay, so then we go to question 4, which this whole chart right here is question 4, right? So what we assume is that Lexi invested her $1,000. She issued herself 100,000 shares, a penny a share. So total shares right now are 100,000, right? So she owns 100%. Then investor A gives her $50,000 with no shares, no share price. So the total shares is still 150,000. So this is where, like, with the company value, is the company now at $51,000? Like, there, no company value is given because the investor A doesn't ask for that value, right? So this is why they're doing the convertible debt. So Lexi still technically owns 100% of her company, right? Everyone on the same page there?
Yeah.
Yep. Okay, so then the Series A investor comes along with your $300,000. They decide that the company shares are worth $250. So this is where I make this assumption, right? And so that means they are buying 120,000 shares for a total of 220,000 shares in the company. So Homeplate now has $220,000 shares. So this company value that I came up is the 220 shares times the $2.50. That's how much the company is now worth.
So what I did there, don't they also say in number 4 that the debt will convert at a 10% discount, meaning the angel will be able to convert her debt?
I'm not there yet.
Okay, sorry.
That isn't in there yet.
Keep
So
going.
remember when we watched the video, he talked about how the angel investor did the debt, right? That carried no share, no company ownership yet. And then the investor came in and said, I decided this company's worth $3 million.
Oh, that's right.
Right, so they valued the company for the owner. And when they did that, that's where they got the share price from. But we aren't given the total value, we're just given the share price. So I'm assuming that because the share price is $250, that Lexi shares are then also $250 a share. And then, does that make sense?
Yeah, I think Lexi's would still say it a penny though, wouldn't they?
No, I think the share prices all have to be the same price, unless you're given a discount rate. And Lexi doesn't have a discount rate on her shares. Because that's how she made the money, right? The $1.98, right? Like in the reading, it talked about how the one company that when the owners owned it and then the people came in and valued it, that meant that their shares were, they had a paper gain of $1.98 million. Do you remember that from the reading?
Yeah, I need to pull that up again.
Okay, so let me just finish walking through this. So Series A, so then I assume that all the shares are worth $250. So that means that the company value is now at $500,000, which means that Lexi owns 45% and the Series A investor owns 55% of the company. Nobody else got to those numbers?
No, I got those numbers.
But I agree with your math.
Oh, yes. Okay, Jay. Did we lose Jay?
No, I'm right here.
Okay, and then this is how I did the convertible. So then the angel investor comes along with their, not along, you need, like, then decides to cash in their discount rate, right? So their discount rate for the 250 would mean that they're actually going to purchase their shares for 225, right? And that means they end up buying the 22,222.22 shares, right? So that's how many shares. So here's where I don't quite understand is that, do we issue new shares with the convertible debt chart, or do those shares get pulled out of Lexi's and the Series A investor shares? Did you guys issue new shares so that the total amount of shares, right? So I increased my shares by that.
Yeah.
Is that what you guys all did?
I increased shares too.
I did, but I still have completely different numbers, so I don't know.
I got the same percentages as you. I just don't know how you got those percentages, but
Like, it looks good. So then Lexi ends up owning 41, the angel owns 9, and the Series A owns 50,
Yeah.
right?
Hey,
Yeah.
I got the same numbers too, just way different way.
All good, right? Oh, the math works. Okay, so because that was my thing. I was like, wait, do I issue new shares, or do we assume that Lexi then shares her shares or sells her shares? That was the part that was never really made clear.
See, and Rebecca, the part I differ from you on is the total invested, because I counted like totally the total part they invested. I only got 350,000, but yet we still got the same percentages, so it doesn't matter. I just
What do you mean total invested? I don't have total invested on
your company value.
my company value is based on the share price, not about the amount that's invested.
Okay, so I just didn't have company value on there. I didn't determine that, I guess.
Oh yeah, this isn't really relevant other than I just wanted to know.
Okay, sounds
Yeah.
good.
Because again, like in the example, the one we watched, the total company value, that's how they determined how many shares were issued to the Series A investor. And we just didn't, does that make sense? Like, they didn't give us the share price, they gave us the company value. So when I made this chart, I assumed that the company value was pertinent to our calculations. And then after I did everything, I realized, oh, that wasn't pertinent because we got the share price.
Okay,
That
makes sense.
So
Yeah.
like this is there's no this doesn't go into any calculation. It's just there for prettiness.
Okay, sounds good. All right, well, let's talk about each question individually and see if we all got the same answer. It said create a capitalization table from Homeplate at the time of the initial founding of the company. Include the number of shares, price per share, total investment, and what percentage of the firm Lexi owned. So who wants? Sharon, do you want to tell us what you got on that?
Yep. This one I think was probably the easiest, right? And I missed the beginning of the call. I don't know if Rebecca went over this at all. I'm sorry.
She did. I just.
Okay, I'm happy to say, but yeah, originally Lexi had issued herself 100,000 shares for, it was $1,000, so the price was a penny per share, and so she earned 100%, or she owns 100% of the company right now.
Okay. Does anybody have anything different? Nope. All right, moving on. 1B, create a capitalization table for Homeplate, assuming that the angel investor invests $50,000 at 50 cents per share. Assume that Lexi issues new shares to the investor, so she retains her original 100,000 shares. How many shares would the angel investor have under this proposal? What share of equity would Lexi own? What share would the angel investor own? Paige, do you want to go over that?
Do you want to see my spreadsheet, or I can just tell you? I guess doesn't matter.
Either way,
Okay.
whatever you prefer.
Well, so the angel investor got 100,000 shares. So they both get 50% of the company.
That's what
is there
I
anything
got.
else? Yeah.
Nope, that's
Okay.
what I got. Does anybody have anything different on those? And we did everybody calculate it the same way Rebecca did earlier? Because that's pretty much what I did.
I assume so. I got the same answer, so I guess I missed that part.
My spreadsheet looks different, but it all
Yeah.
it all worked out. So Okay, so number 2, create a capitalization table for Homeplate, assuming that the angel investor invests $50,000 at $2 per share. How many shares would the angel purchase under this proposal? What share of equity would Lexi own, and what share would the angel own? Okay, Jake, do you want to take this one?
Yeah, I got Lexi would own 80%, and the angel would own.
Perfect. Does anybody have anything different?
I got something different.
Okay.
Okay, share my screen and you guys can tell me what I possibly did wrong.
Okay.
Okay, do y'all see it?
No.
Mm-mm.
No?
I can see it.
Oh my god.
I can
You
see
can?
it.
What?
Sorry, I don't know what. Okay, so this is my question 2 right here. So Lexi still has 100,000 shares at 1%, and then, 50,000 for an investment, $2 a share is 25,000 shares. Is that correct?
Yes.
So what did I do wrong? I got 75% as her.
One.
Oh, I think you didn't, you figure
Just
your
putting those wrong.
percentages. It looks like you figured your percentages from the 100,000 shares, not the total of 125,000 shares.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, you're totally right. Okay, I'll
That's
change all that. Oh, that's perfect.
that's
Okay.
what I assume.
Oh, right. Okay. I did it right on that one. Thank you.
All right. Any other questions on that one? Nope. Okay. Question number 3. Assuming Lexi and the angel agreed on $1 per share in the seed round, what share of the company would she own after Series A, assuming she raises $300,000 at $2.50 per share? What share of the company would the angel own and Potato Rock own? So I'll take this one if that's okay. I got that Lexi would own 30% of the equity, the angel investors would own 19%, and Potato Rock would own 44%. Does that sound like what everybody else got?
Yep.
I have 37% for what Lexi has. Is that what you said?
Yeah.
That's what I said, yeah.
Okay, sorry, I thought you said 30.
No, I might have. I don't know.
Okay.
Okay. Sounds good. So number 4, create a capitalization table for Lexi's venture after raising her Series A funding using the following assumptions. Lexi chooses $50,000 convertible debt instead of equity for the angel round of financing. Hint, no equity is issued during the seed round. B, the convertible debt carried 0% interest rate. C, Lexi will raise an additional $300,000 at $2.50 per share in 1 year. And D, the debt will convert a 10% discount, meaning angel investors will be able to convert her debt into equity for 10% lower price per share than the Series A investor will pay. So we already saw Rebecca's answer. Is there somebody who wants to share this one? Like everybody agreed with Rebecca, right?
Yeah, 41, 50, and 1%.
Yep. Okay. So how does the convertible debt affect Lexi's ownership share of her firm? How is the angel share affected, the venture capital firm? So let's talk about Lexi's ownership. How is that affected?
Well, she retained more share when she used the convertible debt of the angel investor instead of issuing shares initially.
Mm-hmm.
But I think I was like shocked at how much the angel loses.
Yeah.
Right, like whoa, like half theirs.
Yeah.
While Lexi's went up, I thought it was also a little shocking that the Series A investor also got more.
Yeah, I agree.
I don't think I would have predicted that everybody would have won, but the angel investor totally lost out on the deal.
Agreed. Any other thoughts?
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see. So which option do you think Lexi should choose for the seed round based on your analysis? I'm going to mark this so we know where we're at. Okay.
I put, just since I haven't really talked too much this time, I just put definitely she should go with the option where she sells stock at $2 instead of the 50 cents. I think she retains the majority of the ownership in her company at that point, with 80% versus 50% with the first scenario. That's what I put there. I don't know if that was right or wrong. It seems right, but if I'm wrong, please tell me.
Nope.
So when I was comparing basically the two different long-term scenarios, like what would happen after if both the angel investor and the Series A investor were to invest and get shares up front versus angel investor doing convertible debt and then the Series A investor investing with shares, I don't feel like Lexi, the 37 to 41%, obviously she got like a rise in her ownership, but it wasn't such a dramatic rise that I was like, whoa, that's the way to go. Because I keep thinking like the angel investor is the one that kind of, in some cases, like loses here. Mm-hmm. So why would an angel investor be like, yeah, I prefer convertible debt over that share price? I mean, they can do this math too. So I guess I'm just like confused as to like, were we supposed to have like a clear answer? Or I feel like it's still kind of just, I don't know, gray and cloudy. Or like, I don't know.
I don't know that we had to on this one. Did you see? Because I think the last case it said you need to come to a consensus. You have to choose. I don't know that we did on this one.
No, I think we just have to kind of state our opinions and move on.
Yeah.
So I guess my opinion is I don't have a strong opinion one way or the other.
Okay, perfect.
I'll be the ambiguous one this week.
All right, Paige or Jake, what did you decide on that one?
I really just, after looking at it, I decided that the convertible debt would be the way to go just because it increased her ownership. But after, like what Rebecca pointed out, it really wasn't that much of an increase, and I hadn't, just like, oh, more equity, obviously you do that. But if that just makes the angel investor happy, I think there's a lot of other things that would go into that decision. So while I initially thought that was the way to go, now I'm kind of rethinking, maybe it's not.
Okay. Jake?
Yeah, that's pretty much what I was thinking too. It really depends on what she wants. If she wants to retain like most ownership in the company, then she should go with the one that gives her. If she wants a lot of funding for her company, then she needs to go with the last option.
So in my opinion on this one was to go with the convertible debt option.
Yeah.
Because it does give Lexi more ownership, which is I think what she would want in this situation. That's what I would want, is more ownership. But of course there are some risks. In the video it talked about how if they do end up filing for bankruptcy, the assets would be sold and the angel investor would get it. And so I think that's kind of what would convince, I don't know, giving that security blanket to the angel investor might encourage them to go along with this plan as well. So I thought the convertible plan was the best option. So, all right. Is there anything else we needed to discuss? I think that was it.
I think probably regarding this case, that's all I have.
Yeah.
And then,
This one seems shorter and easier.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was nice. This week was kind of nuts, so I appreciated that.
Yes, I agree. So, all right. Well, then I'm going to stop the broadcast unless somebody else has something else to add. Last minute thoughts? Nope. Okay.